2K Sports pregame show.
Vengo en busca de respuestas con el manojo lleno y vengo como un libro abierto, ansiosa de aprender la historia no contada de nuestros ancestros, con el viento que dejaron los abuelos y que vive en cada pensamiento de esta amada tierra. Quien sabe cuidarlo es quien de verdad la quiera. Vengo para mirar de nuevo, para ver los sitios y despertar el ojo ciego, sin miedo. Tú y yo descolonicemos lo que nos enseñaron, con nuestro pelo negro, con pómulos marcados, con el orgullo indio en el alma.
It's Friday night and live on 2K Sports. Gonna bring you in all its excitement. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. And joining us in a bit later from the sidelines, Doris Burke. This game marks the end of this stretch at home for the Lakers. Back on the road tomorrow. Last time they met was right here, and they came out with the win. Tied 1-1 after the win. We'll see who can get the edge.
And we're able to overcome what was a really poor shooting night. And you're not going to be able to win with a percentage as low as theirs that often unless you defend.
No style points earned for sure, Greg, in that game. But they did hit the big shots when they needed them. And oftentimes it's not what you do as much as when you do it.
All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. On the floor for Miami, Dragic is joined in the backcourt by Wade. Whiteside is out there with Dang, and it's Johnson in at the small forward spot. And so it's the Heat getting on the board first. Clock at 6. Here's Randall. Off the mark there with the three-point shot.
Dwayne Wade, as we know, one of the best in the business at blocking shots from that off-guard position. Hard to think of a guard who has had as many swats as Dwayne Wade in the past couple decades. One of the best ever.
Earlier, Doris Burke spoke with head coach Eric Spoelstra. And what'd you find out, Doris?
They'll be up against one of the true giants of the league in Roy Hibbert. And he talked about how impressed he is with Hibbert's dedication to improving his game, saying he's gotten better year after year. And now is one of the guys you have to account for, really at both ends of the floor. Defensively, you've got to get low and try to root him out of the paint. And then on offense, we'll probably look to put him in pick and rolls to test his mobility. Seems like a smart strategy, guys. We'll see how they do.
Thanks, Doris. For Miami, they've gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Dang kicks to Dragic. Good ball movement here by Miami. Wade drives in. Here's Dang. That falls. Nice feed that time from Dwayne Wade. Dang's got his first bucket of the night. Russell passes to Clarkson. He feeds it to Hibbert. And it's Bryant in the corner. And taken away by Johnson. Dragic kicks to Wade. Johnson outside. Dishes to Dragic. Banked in off the glass. And now we'll get a perspective here on the hustle game. How it's been going for the Heat.
Boy, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end, guys, and have piled up the steals in the early going.
And also defensively, they've been able to cause some turnovers tonight. And that also builds confidence and gives you momentum.
And here's Wade following Julius Randle's three. There's a screen. Dragic kicks to Wade. And Hibbert with the block. Off his foot, and it's being called a kickball. Nancy's checked in for Los Angeles. Miami on defense. Randall dishes to Russell. Nance passes to Russell. Inside. And Kobe the bucket with the assist by Russell.
And a lot of teams are looking for coaches that embrace analytics and look at data-driven approaches. Coach Scott is not one of those guys. He's an old-school coach who goes with his own perception.
Now here's Dragic. His last outing, he had 18 points. Good on the shot.
Textbook, nice pass, great catch, even better finish.
Outside Russell, and there's the feed to Nance. No good from outside. And former coach of the year Byron Scott now with the Lakers. And as you said, Greg, he's not an analytics guy. And Clark, I think he's a guy that the eye test for him is huge.
Yeah, he feels a lot. Terrific communicator and storyteller. Great experience as a player and as a champion. And I think that all is evident in his coaching style.
Catching up on the changes with Miami. Winslow comes in for Johnson. And it's Richardson in for Dwayne Wade.
And, you know, for Brandon Bass, such a big asset to Boston last year, and they're pushed to make the playoffs, especially after the Celtics have traded away several key veterans. His toughness, his strong mid-range game, that all helped.
Here's what Miami's going with right now. Stoudemire's checked in for Whiteside. And Josh McRoberts subbed in for Luol Deng. On the wing, Williams. Good for the basket. Starting off 1 for 1 with that shot. And going back to Brandon Bass, he was Boston's only enforcer down low once Sullinger went out with the broken foot. At that point, Greg, no one thought the Celtics would make the playoffs, but Bass helped push them in.
And last season, one of the most meaningful in Bass's career in terms of his contributions really counting toward the bottom line. A lifetime role player. The outcomes of many games last year were swayed by how well he performed.
Now Dragic. Larry Nance missing from long range. Just 5 on the clock. Stoudemire setting the pick for Dragic. Offline with his 3. The Miami Heat comes into this one following a loss to Boston.
You hate to lose a game that you feel like you let get away. They played good basketball for most of the game, but you got to go the distance. They collapsed and opened the door for the comeback.
And collapse is really the only way you could put it. And I'm sure they would admit that in their locker room. To themselves.
6-second difference between the shot and game clock. Kobe kicks to Williams. Got a piece of it, but they get it back. Back to Bryant. His shot is good, making him a perfect 2 for 2 from the floor.
Oh, Maestro, he is so good at making those lead passes, like conducting an orchestra.
Dragic kicks to Stoudemire. Good if it goes. And that concludes. And Kobe Bryant dealing with the wear and tear of decades in the league. He talked.
Well, you have to make adjustments.
Well, at Kobe's age and with the 2 years worth of injuries, is coming back for him just a matter of Greg adjustments? Or is that another way of saying he has to limit everyone's expectation, including his own?
You know what? When it comes to Kobe Bryant, history has shown that the normal rules just don't apply. I think it's the rest of the league that's going to have to adjust to a well-rested and still very lethal Black Mamba.
Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And let's quickly break down the game we've seen from Miami, guys.
It's been about the pace. You can see they're going to try to keep this game in the open floor.
Yeah, and you know, it's been a tempo that they like, and they're getting some easy buckets in transition here.
Williams is out there with Larry Nance. Then it's Roy Hibbert. Then there's Jordan Clarkson. And it's Huertas in at the point. That's who's in the game for the Lakers. Joe Johnson, he's checked in for Miami. pass to Whiteside. Russell against Richardson. There's the dish to Wade. No good on the three. Lakers trail by 4. Williams for 3. And it's Whiteside with the rebound. And the Heat shooting has been beyond great up until now. How about 57% from the field overall?
Yeah, great look, but disappointing with the miss.
Boy, what happened on that one, Greg? I mean, that's almost an automatic shot for him.
All the officials are all over that one.
Clearly a foul. I mean, didn't give him any choice but to blow the whistle. I mean, you got to play without fouling.
The Lakers have shot 2 free throws, and they're 1 of 2 so far. And he sinks the second. Miami leading by 3.
And guys, looking at Roy Hibbert, just a mountain of a man, listed these days at about 7'2", 290 pounds, with a wingspan of a pterodactyl. I mean, a true game changer inside when he's motivated and on his game. How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
Yeah, and it's really fun to see that kind of unselfishness. Really hard not to appreciate all the assists they've racked up.
Well, talking about Roy Hibbert, he doesn't just have size. He has a strong lower body, too. Very hard. And you know this, Clark. You worked for the organization. You saw it firsthand. Very hard to back that guy down in the post.
Yeah, and for years he's worked on ways to complement that size with improved training and footwork, even indulging in MMA one off season. I'll tell you what, he'd be one scary super heavyweight if he went the full distance in MMA.
Agreed. Here's Whiteside. And Hibbert with the block. And pushing it up. Here's Los Angeles. Randall no good.
The defense ready for him on that possession. They had to be, because he is so strong in the paint.
Here's Johnson. Shot is no good. Great D that time from Hibbert.
That's one he knows he should have drained.
Clarkson dishes to Russell. Goes back up. And it's Hibbert laying it in.
His hard work on the backboard really just has given them more opportunities to score.
Here's Whiteside. The rim-rattling two-handed jam.
How about that fantastic finish and the aggressive move, too, Kevin?
Trying to send a message, Clark, with that slam, I think.
And I'm not sure if it was text or email, but he definitely threw that one down.
Randall kicks to Hibbert. It's hauled in by Luol Deng.
There was just enough defensive pressure to get him off balance and cause that shot to go awry.
Wade misses.
Well, there was no hand in his face right there. I thought for sure he was going to knock that down.
Williams from outside, and it's Miami with the rebound. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a three-point play.
And that's how the coach would draw it up on the fast break from start to finish.
Yeah, and what a finish it was, guys. Really nicely done.
The Heat making a switch here. Amari Stoudemire is checked in for Whiteside. Josh McRoberts comes in for Luol Deng. Winslow's checked in for Johnson. And it's Dragic in for Richardson. Nance, no good.
And he's really having all sorts of problems with his jumper right now.
Yeah, big time. I mean, the words that come to mind, ice and cold and disappearing stroke, all would apply.
They blow the whistle just as he gets it off. That's 2 points with a chance for another one at the stripe.
Really aggressive play there, taking it to the rack against the big fella.
You know, Greg, aggressiveness is really the only option when you're on the wrong side of the size equation.
Dragic the pass to Winslow. That's in coming off an assist from Dragic. Dragic has got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. Last game for the Lakers, they picked up the W against the Utah Jazz.
You just have to admire the versatility they were able to display offensively.
Scoring came from every direction, all over the place. I mean, if one approach didn't work for them, they found another one that did. Great unspoken communication between teammates leading to the nice assist and the easy score.
A nice shot by Winslow.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And when you make 5 in a row in close like that, it also takes pressure off your perimeter guys, too.
So timeout called here, the first for Los Angeles.
And one thing we know about Justice Winslow, he is great on the big stage. He was amazing in the tournament for Duke a season ago, got better and better as he helped his school capture the national championship.
And he can extend the lead to double digits.
Oh, excellent interior D to force the miss.
His defensive ability is a big factor. I mean, there's no denying that.
And that's playing into the hands of the defense right there.
No way you can sneak that shot by him, Greg. I mean, he was all on top of that one.
Dragic kicks to McRoberts. There's Winslow. It drops for his third basket. He's missed only one shot.
Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
It really has, Clark. The defense unable to react as quickly as necessary in terms of dealing with their passes.
Well, I tell you, that was double duty right there. He influenced the shot and then got back and cleaned the glass.
Wade against Kobe. Wade kicks to Stoudemire. All's nice feed that time from Dwayne Wade. And now a 12-point Heat lead.
And that kind of sums up the defensive effort we've seen here tonight, guys.
That'll do it for the first half.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
The Heat, 33.
Johnson here alongside Kenny, the Jet Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal. We'll be looking back at the game's first half. Dwayne Wade has been all over the floor tonight. He had 13 points, 2 assists, and 1 steal. Let's hear from you, Shaq, on the Heat first half.
Well, it was an unselfish, team-oriented half of basketball. The ball never stopped moving. Their offense had a great flow to it. It prevented anyone from getting lazy out there. They're always moving, cutting, knowing where they need to pass the ball, Ernie.
And Kenny, let's get your thoughts on the Lakers.
Well, right now, they're getting a little embarrassed on the defensive end. They got outshot in the first half. But that's because no one put their foot down on defense to stop it. So in the second half, they need to play much more disruptive defensively. They have to do whatever it takes.
All right, that is going to wrap up our halftime report as it's just about time for the start of the third quarter.
As we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. Dwayne Wade really has his fingerprints all over this one.
And he just went off in those first 2 quarters, guys. He's capable of doing that on a consistent basis as well. So we might see some changes from a defensive standpoint as they try to disrupt his rhythm in the second half.
You know, guys, I think you've got to make some sort of change. I mean, they can't let him continue to torch him up like he has been.
Here's who Eric Spoelstra is starting the second half with. Dragic is joined in the backcourt by Wade. Dang out there with Johnson. And it's Whiteside in at the center position. Here's Hibbert. And the layup falls. Hibbert's got 6 points.
You always hear about chemistry. That's a perfect example, knowing where each other is at all times.
And it's Dragic on the drive. And one of Goran Dragic's greatest traits, Greg, excelling in the open court. High energy point guard, a lot like you, speed to burn, very smart guy. Coveted by many.
He really is. And Kevin, he transitions from defense to offense as quickly as anyone in the league, a la Tony Parker, except he's also equally adept at facilitating for others and spotting up for the three, or just taking it to the rack himself.
Both free throws good from Dragic. Lakers trail by 12. The pass to Clarkson. Kicks it to Randall. And with a little over a minute gone, the second half is underway.
And, you know, back to Goran Dragic, many of his transition opportunities start with his aggressive defense. Very active with his hands, has the instincts to jump passing lanes, the long arms, to pick off passes. Suddenly, when he gets a steal, he's off and running.
Richardson, he's checked in for Dwayne Wade. On defense, the Lakers down by 12. Here's Dragic. Great tee that time from Hibbert.
And talking about Goran Dragic, the one thing he has to be careful with is being over-aggressive on deep. Reaching for steals makes you susceptible to blow-bys and escape dribbles, and that can lead to uncontested layups and dunks for your opponent.
And the Lakers making a change here. Williams is checked in. The Heat leading by 12. And it's Johnson penetrating. Uses the glass to drop it in. Johnson's got his first bucket of the night.
They're perfectly content to keep going to that mid-range jumper. If the defense is going to give it to them, they'll take it all day.
It's about getting open looks, and they've used that shot with great effect here tonight.
Los Angeles calls timeout.
And look, Joe Johnson last season, not his best statistically, but boy, did he show some heart. I mean, he was one of the catalysts for Brooklyn making the playoffs, especially when Brook Lopez returned healthy and the two could play off of one another.
Hibbert dishes to Russell. And yes, sir, that one drops. Russell's got his second basket of the game.
And it's coming easy for them right now. 5 baskets in a row in the paint.
And I say, hey, if it keeps working, go to it. Stay with it. I mean, until the defense responds and provides more resistance, keep making them pay.
No one near Randall as he lets it go. Off target from three-point range. And it's Dragic off the drive. And Jordan Clarkson is going to pick up the foul.
Jordan Clarkson.
Nancy's checked in for Russell.
Larry Nance.
There's the screen. To the paint. Here's Dang. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. And what a tough position Luol Deng found himself in last year in a small forward swap of sorts. LeBron James goes from Miami to Cleveland. Deng goes from Cleveland to Miami. He had his choice. There was Atlanta that was in the mix there too. But he goes to the Miami Heat. He's bounced around a little bit. But still a very big talent.
He is. You know, he kind of likes following legends. Remember, Scottie Pippen was that great small forward in Chicago, and Luol Deng was the next stepping into LeBron's role, unfortunately not able to deliver at the same level. And let's face it, the problem is you can't make up for losing the best player in the game, and that's the case here in Miami for Luol.
Oh, and here comes Johnson all alone.
Oh, wow. 4 of 5 to start the half, coming out on fire.
Lakers trail by 17.
And, you know, getting back to Luol Deng, he wasn't entirely pleased with his new role. He's been a knockdown mid-range shooter throughout his career, but last year he was asked to shoot. You know, on the surface, it might seem questionable to attempt a dunk like that when you're behind, but I think he's just trying to give him a spark.
Yeah, what a dunk it was.
And he's got that awe factor. Even look at us. We're all sitting here just waiting for when he goes airborne.
Special thanks to Kia for that sweet Kia Slam Cam replay. And Miami calls their first time out of the game. And who has been a greater enigma than Roy Hibbert, a guy who can look like an all-star Clark one game and an undrafted free agent the next?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing the kind of swings Roy has had. He's been really good at times. Sometimes he gets in his own way with overthinking things, but I think he's got everything he needs to be an upper-tier center, upper echelon center. Just has lacked consistency the last year or two.
And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Guys, over that last break, I listened to Eric Spoelstra address his team. He made it clear that their offense needed to run through Deng. Coach is calling on him to play a big role in the offense for the rest of this game, to really be one of the key guys for them down the stretch. There's still plenty of basketball left to play, and as we watch how these adjustments play out, Kev, it'll be interesting.
Thank you, Doris. Whiteside, and he overshot that one, missing. Lakers trail by 15. Shots good by Clarkson.
And on the topic of Hibbert, he was an enigma in college, had a very encouraging junior season, looked like a future lottery pick, and then that uninspiring senior season, which kind of dropped his draft stock considerably.
Now, here's Clarkson. Richardson covering. Hibbert kicks to Williams. It's hauled in by Richardson.
It's not winning basketball when you're attempting shots like that.
Yeah, come on now. You got to remember it's a team game. He's got 4 teammates out there with him. I don't think he needs to try to do it all by himself like that. You know, going back to Hibbert, last season was a perfect example of what we're talking about in terms of consistency. One game he puts up 22 and 8, the next game 2 and 1. But you know, every team in the league would like to be in the Roy Hibbert game once the light finally goes on and stays on. Consistency, the challenge for Hibbert. He's been one of their more reliable options today, guys. I mean, his shooting has led them to this lead.
Yeah, maybe a change of the game plan right now, looking at some different sets because of the matchups.
Yeah, I agree with you because they're looking to tweak things to maybe get those matchups working in their favor.
And Los Angeles with some changes. Brandon Bass is checked in for Hibbert. And it's Bryant in for Clarkson. The Heat also changing it up. Josh McRoberts is checked in for Whiteside. Winslow comes in for Joe Johnson. And Dwayne Wade subbed in for Richardson. And it's out of bounds. They say last touch by Dang. .121 left in the third quarter of the game. Here's Huertas. No good. Now the Heat take it the other way.
It's a +5 advantage for them in the rebounding category after that board.
Very steady with their work on the interior. Really a well-rounded effort overall.
And that'll be the Lakers as it goes out of bounds. Lakers retaining possession.
You know what? A low percentage pass on that one, but sometimes it's worth the risk.
Well, that time the risk did not pay off because it was well defended.
1:02 left in the third quarter. And he's going up for the alley-oop. It's stolen by Wade. Knocks it loose. Out of bounds, the Lakers will take possession.
And checking out some stats for Dragic. They've gotten some big performances from him since the All-Star break. He's putting up about 17 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds. He has been terrific throughout, putting up some huge numbers offensively.
Yeah, you know, you just plug him in. He's a flat-out scoring machine. When you plug him up, let him go.
Russell, he's checked in for Lou Williams.
Oh, the officials are all over that one.
Clearly a foul. I mean, didn't give him any choice but to blow the whistle. I mean, you got to play without fouling.
And so Bass nails both of them. Here's Wade. 13 points in the game. Outside Dragic. Wade passes to McRoberts. Winslow wide open. He fires. Bangs home the... trifecta. Winslow's got 9.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
Really a prime example of the difference in how these teams have operated offensively. Much more individual play at the other end.
Now here's Dragic. He's got 10. Passes to Wade. 4 seconds left. Can't get it to go.
Now that's terrific defense at the rim. Got right in his path.
And you know they'll be...
Welcome back as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. Not exactly a nail-biter here, but you never know. Here's Richardson. Kobe and Randall, the forward duo. Jordan Clarkson is out there with Russell. And it's Hibbert in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. That's the Laker 5. Back to Richardson. Played in with a nice touch off the glass. Richardson's got the first field goal of the fourth quarter here for the Heat.
They're forcing the ball inside, and it's working beautifully.
It really is. 5 out of 6 of their last field goal.
Just a different day. Out here trying to get it each and every way. Steph Curry and the Warriors next game. I've been looking forward to this for a while now. You know they'll be running and gunning. And Steph's gonna do 2 or 3 things that make you want to stop and stare. But we can't let that distract us. Because if we lose focus for even a second, they'll be up 20. So maybe it's up to me to put on a little show of my own.
And a shot of the west span of the Bay Bridge. What a terrific view. 2 teams, 2 conferences. It's a road game for the Raptors in this one. Thanks for joining us, everyone. It's the NBA on 2K Sports. Back in for Bogut. Iguodala comes in for Barnes. And it's Livingston in for Klay Thompson. What a year for the Warriors. Clark won their division for the first time in 39 years, ran away with the very tough Western Conference.
And there were a number of surprises last season, Kevin, but the Warriors were at the top of the list. I mean, I don't think anybody, including you and I, pegged them to be as good as they were.
Especially the way the finals began.
Exactly.
Setting the floor for the Raptors. Then in at shooting guard, Bismack Biyombo is out there with James Johnson. Then it's Corey Joseph. And it's Carroll in at the 3, the small forward.
And the Warriors won 51 games back in 2014, improved that mark by 16 wins last season. Among teams that won at least 50 games in the previous year, that 16-game improvement was an NBA record for the Warriors.
Feeds it to Joseph. It's picked off. And now here comes Iguodala leading the break. Livingston, no luck.
And already they've staked out a noticeable advantage in terms of aggression and controlling the backboard.
And a trend they'd love to continue. Right through the next 3 quarters as well, Greg. It goes without saying the Warriors set franchise records all over the place with their play. Their win total being the highest ever, but also of note was it was the first time they've won 50 games in back-to-back seasons. They seem to truly have arrived as a top-notch franchise in this current state of the NBA.
From the wing, the shot is off. The Warriors go the other way with it. Coming off that loss against the Nets.
And you know what? A shame that either team had to lose that game because you had to be proud of the way they battled in it.
Yeah, I suppose that's right, but it still was heartbreaking. I mean, you hate to lose in OT. No matter how hard you played, you want to come out on top if you're going to play those extra minutes.
Freak kicks to Biyombo. Now Carroll. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. And the Raptors miss again.